Hey guys, so today we're going to continue our work with scatter plots and line of best fit. And just as a brief reminder, when we talk about line of best fit, we're using y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept to help us find these equations. So let's review what we did last week. Look at number 1. First, I want to decide, does this have a positive or negative relationship? And I look at the dots and they seem to be going up. So next I want to eliminate based on that relationship and the slopes of your choices. Remember, that's in front of the x. So A and B both have positive slopes, but C and D have negative slopes. So I'm going to mark out C and D because they have the wrong type of slope. Next, I want to take a look and actually find or plot these lines to see which of these would match up best with our scatter plots. So let's look at A. The y-intercept, remember I want to write my equation, y equals mx plus b, if you need to. So that tells me to start with my 7, which is my y-intercept. So I'm going to plot the 7, and that says to go, my slope is, there's nothing there, so it's a positive 1. Rise 1, run 1. Rise 1, run 1. If I draw that line, does that match up with my scatter plots? No, it doesn't. So more than likely that means A is not a good choice. Let's test B. So again, y equals mx plus b, if you need that. So I'm going to start with my 3, which is my y-intercept. And then my slope, or rise over run, is 1/2. So that means I rise 1, run 2. Rise 1, run 2. Rise 1, run 2. And those fall right in line with the scatter plots. So that is going to be the best, the equation of the best fit line. So now let's take a look at number 2. Again, I'm just talking through the steps that I gave you Friday. First, decide if this has a positive or negative relationship. So it looks to me like my dots seem or appear to be going up, so that's positive. They're increasing. So looking at my choices, my slopes, I have a positive 1, a negative 1, a positive 1, and a negative 1. Well, if my relationship is positive, I'm going to mark out B and D because they have the wrong sign on the slope. Next, I'm actually going to test my remaining choices. So let's test A. Y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to start by graphing a 3. I could already tell you that's too far down. Let's go ahead and finish it. My slope is 1, so that means I rise 1, run 1 to get my next point. Rise 1, run 1. Rise 1, run 1. That line is completely too low. That is not a best fit for this equation. So I'm going to erase that and try C, which is my only choice left. Y equals mx plus b. So I start by graphing my 7. That's my y-intercept. And my slope, there's nothing in front of the x, so it's a positive 1. That means I rise 1, run 1 to get to my next point. Start at my 7, rise 1, run 1. Rise 1, run 1. And that looks like a very good fit. And let's try one more. So let's take a look at example 3 before we move on to the new stuff for today. So again, first I'm going to look at my trend or my relationship. And these dots appear to be going down or decreasing. So that means I need a negative slope for this equation. And when I look at that, A has a positive and the rest have negative numbers in front of the x. So the only choice I can mark out right now is A. So now I'm just going to start testing. So underneath each equation, I'm going to write y equals mx plus b. Let's do one at a time though. So let's test choice B. So I start with a positive 4. Okay, that looks good so far. And then I use my slope, negative 2, which means I go down 2, run 1. Down 2, run 1. Down 2, run 1. Well, those those dots seem to be a little bit too far to the left. That's not a good fit. So I'm going to mark out choice B. Now let's test choice C. Y equals mx plus b. Remember, we always start with our b. In this case, it's 4. And my slope is negative 1/8. That means I go down 1 and run 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Look at that. If I connect those two dots, does that look like it matches up with the scatter plots? No. So that's not a very good fit. So by elimination, our choice is going to be D. But let's look at what that looks like. Y equals mx plus b. So I plot the 4. That's my y-intercept. My slope is negative 1/2. That means I rise down 1, run 2. Rise down 1, run 2. Look at what's happening. Rise down 1, run 2. It won't always touch one of your dots, but in this case it did. That looks like an excellent line to represent those dots, or those scatter plots. Let's look at another one. So first I want to identify my pattern or my relationship. I notice these lines are these dots are decreasing, so that means I need a negative slope because I have a negative relationship. So let's look at all of our slopes. So A is positive. It has a positive slope, so I'm going to mark A out. B has a negative slope. I'm going to keep it. C has a negative slope, keeping that. And D has a positive 1 for a slope, so that one's out. Now I want to test each of my equations. My y equals mx plus b. So let's take a look at B. Y equals mx plus b. So first I want to graph my b, or my y-intercept, which is 10. Next it says that the slope is negative 3. That means I go down 3, run 1. Start at 10. Down 1, 2, 3, run 1. Down 1, 2, 3, run 1. If I connect those, does that line seem to match my scatter plots? No, it doesn't. So that's not a good fit. So I'm eliminating B, which leaves C, but let's test that and see what that looks like so you'll know what to look for. So y equals mx plus b. Start with my 10, which is my b, or y-intercept. A slope of negative 1 means I go down 1, run 1, down 1, run 1. And you'll start to notice that that is a much better fit. Again, that's why we call it the equation of the line of best fit to represent that scatter plot. And last but not least, let's look at number 5. So I notice these lines, or these dots, go up. So that means it has a positive relationship. So I want to check all my slopes and eliminate what I can. So it looks to me like A and D have negative slopes. So those are out because they have the wrong kind of slope, the wrong sign on the slope. Now I need to test B and C. Now I notice in both of these, y equals mx plus b, there's nothing there for the b. Y equals mx plus b. So remember, if there's nothing there, it's 0. Okay, so let's try B. So if my y-intercept is 0, choice B I mean, and my slope is 3, that means I rise 3, run 1. Because it's positive, you rise up. So rise 1, 2, 3, run 1. 1, 2, 3, run 1. Already, 1, 2, 3, I'm liking this choice. So far, B is the equation that I think best fits these dots. But I'm still going to test C. So first I plot my B, which we decided was 0. And then I use my slope, which is positive 1/3, to get the next point. So rise 1, run 1, 2, 3. Rise 1, run 3. Yeah, that is nowhere near as good a fit as B. So take what we've discussed and use your notes to help you practice, or refer back to the video if you need to. Talk to you guys later. Bye.